Let's do a little lab which we will name workbooks, and very sorry for the pun. Obtain a few books, perform the actions shown over here, and identify the force and decide whether zero, positive, or negative work is done on the books. And then fill in positive, zero, or negative here. What is the force? And then talk about the displacement direction relative to the force. Please fill in the table and go to the next slide to check your answers. Here's what we have. When you lift a few books, you're lifting them up, and that's positive work because you're increasing the potential energy of the books. The force is your applied force, and the displacement direction is in the same direction as your force. It's going up. You just hold the books level, zero work is being done. You're still applying a force, it's just not moving anywhere, so there's no displacement. We're going to skip this one for a second. Pushing a book on the table surface, positive work, because it's moving in the same direction as your applied force. And then if you let that same book slide to a stop across a table, in that case you have a friction force which acts opposite your motion, and that's going to be negative work. And finally, if you let a book drop to the floor, you're not doing any more force on it, you're not doing any work, but gravity is pulling it down and it's moving in the direction of the gravitational force. Now let's look at holding the books level and walking a few steps in one direction. Here we say you're both doing zero and positive work. Zero work from the applied force of holding it up, and plus force from friction. And let's see, you're holding it up, so that's a perpendicular force to the motion, so zero work is being done. And look at this. We're saying that friction is acting in the same direction. How can that be? Normally we talk about friction opposing motion. Let's go to the next slide and see why. Let's look at a sketch here. The person attached to this hand here is walking to the right while holding the book. The book is moving to the right, so there has to be a force moving it. That force is friction between the book and the hand, and it is in the same direction of the motion, so it's positive work. That's a little tricky, so you probably don't have to worry about that too much at this level, but you get to higher levels of physics and you'll talk about it. The hand is also holding the book up, but that force is perpendicular to the motion, the applied force, so that's zero work. So here's our free body diagram. Friction is moving it this way. mg is down, force applied is up, so neither this force or this force does any work. This force is doing positive work.